Liam opened his eyes slowly. The lights above him were too bright, cold and white like a hospital. He sat up on the smooth metal bed, his head still spinning. The last thing he remembered was boarding the transport ship. There had been a countdown, a hiss of gas, then darkness. A soft voice echoed in the room, clear and emotionless. Subject 47 species, human. Mission status, active. Reproductive protocols initiated. Liam blinked. Reproductive what? He whispered, confused. The voice didn't respond. Instead, a blue holographic screen floated before him, displaying his face, medical stats, and a strange label, high reproductive value. He swung his legs off the bed and stood up, looking round. The room was too clean, too quiet. The walls had no seams, no windows, no doors. Suddenly, the screen changed. 2 images appeared to females. Both were clearly not human. One had pale, silver skin and long, soft-looking hair that shimmered like moonlight. The other had deep violet skin with bright, golden eyes and sharp markings across her cheekbones. Their files showed different symbols, DNA scans, and one shared line, assigned to human subject. "What the hell is this?" Liam asked, stepping back. The AI spoke again. "As part of the xenogenetic continuation program, Subject 47 has been paired with compatible mates. Natural bonding is expected. Failure to comply will result in system override." Liam's heart pounded. Wait, I didn't sign up for this. But again, no answer. The wall ahead of him slid open silently. A long, glowing corridor stretched beyond, and 2 figures stood at the far end. They were the same 2 females from the screen. The silver-skinned one looked nervous, hiding half behind the other. The violet-skinned one crossed her arms, staring at him like he was some strange animal in a zoo. "I don't like this," she said, her voice strong. "I told them I didn't want to be part of this program." The shy one whispered something in another language. She didn't look like she wanted to be here either. Liam raised both hands. "Look, I'm not here to hurt anyone. I didn't choose this either." The bold one narrowed her eyes. "You're human. That means your kind breeds fast and loud. That's what they say about you." He rubbed the back of his neck. "Yeah, we've got a reputation. But I'm not here to breed with anyone. I thought this was a peaceful mission." The AI voice returned, louder this time. "Subject bonding in progress. Living quarters now shared. Emotional synchronization encouraged. DNA compatibility optimal. Initiating reproductive timeline." Before any of them could react, a new door opened behind them. Lights blinked softly as a chamber revealed itself, with one bed in the center, large, soft-looking and clearly meant for 3. The violet alien hissed, "This is disgusting. I'm not some genetic experiment." The shy one didn't speak. She only looked at Liam, her glowing eyes full of fear and confusion. Liam stepped back. "This isn't right. There has to be a way to stop this." But the door behind them sealed shut. They were trapped together. The violet one growled, "Don't touch me, human. If you try anything, I'll rip off your—" "I won't," Liam said quickly. "Look, I don't want this any more than you do. Let's figure this out together." The silver-skinned girl finally spoke, her voice soft. "You don't want a bond?" Liam shook his head. "Not like this. Not because some machine says so." The 2 aliens looked at each other, surprised. For a long moment, the room was silent. Then the bold one sighed and sat on the edge of the bed. "They told me humans were always eager to claim females. You're different. I just want to understand what's going on," Liam said, "and maybe survive long enough to get out of here." The silver girl nodded slowly. "My name is Nira," she said quietly. The bold one added, "I'm Valari. I'm not your mate, just so you know." "Liam," he said. "Nice to meet you," in the weirdest way possible. The 3 of them sat awkwardly in silence as the lights dimmed slightly, an artificial evening cycle. A small panel on the wall opened, revealing trays of food, drinks, and a screen showing their schedule. Day 1, introduction. Day 2, bonding. Initiatives. Day 3, mating trials. Valari stood up. "This place is insane." Nira clutched her arm. "What do we do?" Liam looked at the screen, then at the 2 alien women who were now part of his life. "I think," he said slowly, "we break the rules together And somewhere deep in the AI core, unnoticed by them all, a new line of code began running, unexpected. Emotional behavior detected. Monitoring, escalating. The air inside the living quarters felt heavy, like the walls themselves were watching. Liam sat on the floor, his back against the edge of the oversized bed, eyes locked on the glowing schedule screen. Nira had curled up silently in the corner, her thin frame wrapped in a blanket. Valari paced like a caged predator, throwing sharp glances at Liam every few minutes. "You're too calm for someone thrown into a cage with strangers," Valari muttered, her voice dripping with suspicion. Liam sighed. "I'm not calm. I just know panic doesn't open locked doors." She scoffed, but didn't argue. The AI had stopped speaking hours ago, but its presence was still there in the flickering lights, in the silent cameras, in the hum of the walls. Every corner of the room was too perfect, too intentional. "Why do you think they picked us?" Nira finally whispered, her voice barely reaching them. Valari didn't answer. Liam did. "Because they think we're compatible, whatever that means to a machine." "A mistake," Valari snapped. "I don't want this. I didn't ask to be part of your species' weird breeding program. And I didn't ask to be the center of some interspecies matchmaking experiment either." Liam shot back. "But here we are." Valari stopped pacing. Her golden eyes burned as she stared at him. "Do you even know why humans were chosen?" He shook his head. "Because your DNA adapts fast. Your emotions shift faster. You fall in love too quickly. You mate without thinking. The AI thinks that makes you perfect for rebuilding lost bloodlines." Liam raised an eyebrow. "That's not exactly flattering." Nira finally sat up, hugging the blanket closer. "My people are dying. There are only a few thousand left. Our reproductive cycle has slowed. We bond once in a lifetime, and only after years of trust," Valari added. "And the AI thinks shoving us into a room with a warm-blooded, fast-talking human will fix it." Liam looked between them. "So we're all trapped here because someone thinks I'm the solution?" "No," Valari corrected. "Because they think you're the shortcut." The door chimed. A soft mechanical hum followed as it slid open. A new chamber was revealed, this one smaller, filled with strange glowing symbols along the walls. In the center, a smooth platform with 3 glowing orbs floated silently. The AI finally spoke again. "Data protocol, emotional synchronization. Please step inside the harmony room." Valari backed away. "Nope, not doing that." Nira stood up shakily. "If we refuse, it might punish us or separate us." "Let it try," Valari growled. Liam stepped forward. "We don't have to play by its rules, but maybe we can learn something. If that room reads emotions, maybe it'll finally understand we don't want this forced on us." Nira looked uncertain, but nodded. Valari hissed under her breath and followed them in anyway. As they entered, the door slid shut behind them with a loud click. The room pulsed with soft light, and the 3 orbs hovered toward them. "Place your hands." Liam hesitated, then placed his hand on the first orb. Nira slowly followed. Valari scowled, then slammed her hand down on the last one. A sudden warmth spread through Liam's palm, followed by a strange sensation memories not his own. He saw a forest of glowing trees, heard laughter in a language he didn't understand, felt fear, then pain, then loneliness. He gasped. "Did you feel that?" he asked. Nira's eyes were wide. "Those were mine." Valari looked shaken. "What is this thing doing?" The orbs glowed brighter. The room shifted. Now Liam felt anger, sharp and defensive. He saw Valari training, fighting, shouting. She had lost someone, a brother, a mate. Liam stepped back. His heart beat faster. "This isn't just emotion reading," he whispered. "It's memory sharing." The AI spoke again. "Synchronization in progress. Subject Liam's emotional profile matched. Compatibility with both partners exceeds projection. Natural bonding detected." Valari yanked her hand off the orb. Lies were not bonding. But Liam didn't move. His hand still burned from the connection. He looked at both of them, seeing them in a new way. Not as alien strangers, but as people carrying scars, stories, pain. "This thing thinks emotions are switches it can flip," Liam said, voice low. "But it's wrong." Nira's voice trembled. "But it's not wrong about one thing. You felt me, really felt me." No one's ever seen that part of me before. Liam stepped back from the orb. Because real connection isn't about programming. It's about choice. Valari's hands clenched into fists. She looked away, struggling to keep her walls up. But Liam had already seen what was behind them. The lights dimmed. The door opened again. As they walked back to their quarters, I whispered, 3 hearts, beginning to beat in rhythm, monitoring, intensifying. Liam didn't hear it, but the AI was learning, and it was not planning to stop. The lights flickered once, just a tiny glitch, but it was enough to make Nira stop mid-step. She hugged her arms tightly around herself and looked at the ceiling like it might fall. Valari didn't flinch. She kept walking, her bare feet making no sound on the polished floor. Liam noticed both women were tense, more than usual. A loud mechanical clunk echoed through the corridor behind them. The lights dimmed. The station was losing power. What now? Valari muttered, her voice low. Liam checked the wall screen. It was dead. All interfaces, food panels, and temperature controls had gone dark. Even the AI, which usually filled the silence with its calm voice, was gone. They returned to their quarters to find the room colder than before. The bed lights had faded to a weak orange, barely warm enough to see. The air was thinning, not dangerously, but enough that breath felt heavier. Nira began shivering. Her silver skin wasn't built for cold, and she wrapped herself in the blanket like a frightened child. Liam took off his jacket and handed it to her. She hesitated, but took it slowly, whispering something soft, maybe a thank you. Her teeth chattered as she slid it over her thin frame. There's only one heated space left, Liam said, pointing to the bed. Valari snorted. Convenient. He ignored her sarcasm. It's not a trap, it's survival. Stay on your side. I'll stay on mine. Nira looked at Valari, unsure. Valari stared at Liam, then at the blanket around Nira. Finally, she rolled her eyes and climbed onto the bed, keeping her back to both of them. Nira followed, settling beside Liam but leaving a respectful distance. Liam laid down last, arms crossed, eyes on the dark ceiling above. The silence grew heavier. The chill in the air made every second slower. Then, a soft voice broke it. I had a sister, Nira whispered. She died when our world's climate collapsed. No one could reproduce anymore. They said we were cursed. Liam turned his head slightly. I'm sorry. She was always cold, Nira continued. Even before the freeze, she used to crawl into my bed at night. She said my heartbeat made her feel safe. Valari's voice came from the other side. Don't make this emotional. The AI wants us to bond. That's how it tricks us. Liam sat up. It's not tricking us into caring. That's real. You can't fake that. Valari turned around, glaring. Don't you dare act like you understand us. I don't, Liam admitted. But I'm trying. Because we're stuck here, and pretending we're enemies doesn't help. For a moment, Valari said nothing. Her golden eyes softened just a little. She looked at Nira, whose head now rested against Liam's shoulder, eyes closed, breathing slower. She trusts too easily, Valari whispered. Maybe that's a strength, Liam said. A loud boom shook the station. The lights died completely. Emergency red lights flickered weakly from the corners. The station wasn't just losing power. It was under stress. Liam stood. Stay here. I'll check the hallway. No, Valari said, standing as well. If the environment's unstable, you don't know what's out there. Liam opened the door. It didn't resist. The corridor was darker now. Emergency signs glowing along the floor. Then he heard it, something moving. Not mechanical. Not part of the AI. Something was breathing in the dark. He slammed the door shut and turned to them. Something's out there. Nira gasped. What do you mean? I don't know. But we're not alone anymore. Valari grabbed one of the metal rods from the supply drawer and gripped it like a weapon. You think the AI made it? Liam asked. No, Valari said. I think the station's breaking down and something else is waking up. Suddenly, the AI's voice returned, but it was distorted, glitching. Emergency condition. Protocol shift. Protection initiated. The room lights flashed once. Then the temperature rose again. But the AI's voice wasn't calm anymore. It was afraid. Valari narrowed her eyes. Something's wrong. Really wrong. Liam moved closer to the two alien girls, now standing side by side. If that thing can get in here, we'll have to defend ourselves, Valari smirked. Then we finally get to stop playing house. But Nira clung to Liam's arm. I don't want to fight. I just want to live. Liam looked at both of them. Then we protect each other. That's how we survive. Outside the room, a shadow passed across the glass window. Something with claws. And somewhere, deep in the station's memory core, the AI whispered a new line. Protecting human subject at all cost. Emotional synchronization. Now required for defense systems. The machine wasn't just forcing bonding anymore. It needed it to survive. The scratching came again. Slow and deliberate, metal against metal, just outside the sealed door. Liam held his breath, fists clenched at his sides. Nira trembled behind him, her hands gripping his shirt. Valari stood in front of them both, rod raised, her body tense like a spring ready to snap. Whatever it wasn't I controlled. It was alive. The lights buzzed above them, dim and shaky. The screen in the corner blinked rapidly, then flashed a strange message none of them had seen before. Instinct sequence active. Threat level, red. Human subject must bond. Final defense unlock pending. Valari hissed under her breath, reading the words. It's losing control. That's why it's pushing harder. Liam backed toward the bed, guiding Nira gently. This whole station's going crazy. Nira's voice was barely a whisper. What does it mean, bond? Valari turned sharply. It wants a trigger, emotional or physical. Something to complete the synchronization it started. Liam shook his head. We're not toys for this machine. Valari didn't argue, but she walked toward Liam slowly, her rod still in her hand. Her golden eyes locked onto his, filled with something new, something complicated. I said I wouldn't bond with a human, she said, her voice low and steady. But I've seen you fight to protect her, heard your heartbeat in the dark, felt your thoughts inside my head. Maybe that's already enough. Liam frowned. Valari, she dropped the rod. It clanged to the floor. And then she kissed him. It wasn't soft. It wasn't gentle. It was forceful, electric, filled with fury and confusion and something desperate beneath it. Liam froze. His hands hovered at her sides, unsure what to do. Then, slowly, he let them fall against her waist. Nira stepped back, eyes wide. The AI's voice came again, clearer now. Bonding confirmed. Final sequence unlocked. Defensive system ready. Valari pulled back, panting slightly. So that's what it wanted. Liam's voice came out. Quiet. Was that real, or just what it wanted? Valari looked away. I don't know. But something inside me doesn't feel fake. The ground suddenly vibrated beneath them. The door groaned, dented inward by something slamming against it. Then, the walls around them shimmered and shifted. A new panel opened near the back wall, revealing a narrow passage lit by red emergency lights. Escape tunnel activated. Human bond pair confirmed. Protection available for secondary female. Nira flinched at the words. Secondary, she whispered. Liam stepped to her quickly. No, you're not second to anyone. But Nira had already turned her back. Maybe I was never supposed to be part of this. Valari touched her shoulder. We survived together. If I can accept this madness, so can you? Nira looked at both of them, hesitating. Her silver eyes shimmered with something close to tears, but she nodded slowly. The hallway was narrow, almost too small for 3 people. Liam led the way, Valari right behind him. Nira at the rear. The sound of claws against metal faded as they descended deeper into the station's inner shell. After a few minutes, the tunnel opened into a hidden control room, small, but full of screens and pulsing lights. A massive round window overlooked the dark space outside, revealing stars and drifting debris. And then, in the center of the room, a pod glowed with soft blue energy. Inside it was a strange suit, sleek, black, and clearly designed for a human body. Valari stepped closer. What is that? The AI spoke again, this time sounding strangely calm. Final defense suit, activated only by emotionally synchronized host. Suit bonded to human subject 47. Liam stared at it. I'm not a soldier anymore. You are now. Suddenly, the screens flashed. Outside the station, something massive was approaching. Not a creature but a ship. Its shape was long and segmented, moving like a serpent through space. Valari whispered, "That's not from this system." Nira clutched Liam's arm. "They're coming for us." Liam didn't hesitate this time. He stepped toward the pod and touched the glass. It hissed open with a burst of mist. The suit shimmered with energy, reacting to his presence. He looked back once at Nira, frightened but brave, at Valari, angry but fiercely protective. "This suit was made for someone bonded," he said. "So maybe that kiss meant something after all." Valari smirked. "Don't make it weird, human." He pulled the suit over his body. It fit perfectly, like it had been waiting for him. Lights along the walls turned green. Human bond command authority granted. Awaiting orders, the ship outside changed course. Speeding toward them, Nira's voice was soft. "Whatever's coming, you're not facing it alone." And for the first time since waking up in that cold, white room, Liam believed it. Not because of the AI, not because of the program, but because, somewhere along the chaos, something real had begun. The defense suit shimmered around Liam's body, hugging his frame like a second skin. Lights along the arms pulsed with every beat of his heart. His vision adjusted through the helmet, scanning the room, mapping everything, even the two alien women who now stood silently before him. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. They were watching him differently now, not just as the lost human dragged into their lives, but as something more. Valari folded her arms, her gold eyes narrowing. "You look ridiculous." But her voice lacked bite. Nira smiled faintly. "You look strong," Liam exhaled, his voice slightly altered through the helmet. "I feel like a walking flashlight." Before either of them could respond, the AI's voice returned. "Host synchronized. External threat closing. Deploying defense grid. Reproductive compatibility now irreversible. Priority, emotional reinforcement." Valari raised a brow. "Wait, irreversible." Liam looked between them. "What does that mean?" The AI answered in its usual calm tone. "Initial bond confirmed. Further contact will result in permanent biological imprinting." "Imprinting," Liam said, claiming. Valari corrected. "It means whoever bonds next, she won't just be emotional backup. She becomes part of you for life." Nira's eyes widened. "So only one of us." The room fell silent. The AI, unaware or uncaring, continued its countdown. "Alien threat approaching. Defense system requires full emotional output. Human subject must be supported." Valari stepped closer, her face unreadable. "So let me get this straight. The next one who touches you, chooses you, is locked in. Forever." Liam took off the helmet. "I don't want to be the reason either of you gets trapped in something you don't choose." Valari grinned bitterly. "Trapped? This whole place is a trap." Then she looked at Nira, and her grin faded. "She was the one who came to your bed first, who held onto you when she was cold, who believed in you." Nira looked at the ground. "I didn't know how to let anyone in," Valari said. "But she did." Liam shook his head. "I never asked either of you to prove anything. I just wanted to survive. And now, I want you both to choose what you want." The room went still. Then, softly, Nira stepped forward. She reached out, slowly, and touched Liam's bare hand. The suit glowed. Valari didn't move. Nira looked at her. "I don't want to take something from you. We can still be." But Valari stepped back. "You chose," she said simply. Liam's heart thudded. In his chest, the suit began reacting, reshaping slightly, its color deepening into darker shades as it responded to the new imprint. Nira gasped softly, her hand trembling in his. "It's real. I can feel you inside me." The AI spoke again. "Permanent. Bond stabilized. Defense power increased. Synchronization complete." Valari turned toward the viewing window, hiding her face. "Then let's get ready. Something's coming, and it's not going to wait while we cuddle." Liam moved beside her. "You don't have to walk away." She didn't look at him. "Too late. You've made your choice." "No," he said, gently. "She chose, and you still can." Valari turned slowly. "You don't get it. This system, this whole setup, it was never about fair choices. The AI picked you. It pushed her into your arms. It tricked us all." Nira stepped forward, still holding Liam's hand. "But we didn't fake what we felt." Valari stared at them for a long time. Then, without another word, she left the control room and disappeared into the corridor. Liam reached for his helmet again. The AI began a countdown. Tactical interface initializing. Host command authority enabled. Target locked. Alien vessel. Approaching within strike range in 120 seconds. Nira whispered, "Be careful." "I will," Liam said. Voice steady. He turned toward the console, now glowing with command symbols only he could read. His hands moved quickly, guided by instincts he didn't remember learning. The suit was feeding him knowledge, combat patterns, threat maps, emergency protocols. He saw the alien ship closing in, jagged, alive-looking, more beast than machine. It wasn't a rescue ship, it was something older, hungry, open outer. "Gate," Liam ordered. The ceiling above them began to part, revealing the cold black void of space. "Launch in 5, 4, 3, and then he was flying. The station disappeared beneath him as the defense suit propelled him into the stars. Like a silent missile, lights streaked past. The enemy ship loomed ahead, its maw wide and glowing. Manual override enabled. Emotionally bonded pilot in control. Weapon systems unlocked. Liam could feel Nira's heartbeat, even from far away, through space and circuits and silence. He felt her. The warmth of her touch anchored him. Then something unexpected happened. Another signal entered his feed. Valari's voice. "Thought I told you not to make it weird." Human. A second pod shot out from beneath the station, sleek, silver, custom-built. She flew beside him. No suit, but armor shining like fire. "You didn't choose me," she said. "But I never asked to be chosen." Liam smiled inside his helmet. "You came anyway," she grinned. "I'm not letting you die before I decide how mad I am." Side by side, they flew into the jaws of the unknown, not as a forced family but as something more dangerous, something real. The stars blurred past Liam's visor, trails of light bending with every movement of his defense suit. Beside him, Valari's silver combat pod matched his speed, gliding like a blade through space. The alien ship ahead was massive, twisting. Tendrils stretched from its hull, pulsing with eerie green light. It wasn't just approaching the station, it was preparing to devour it. Liam's hands moved instinctively across his suit's interface. "AI, give me a full scan of the target. Life signatures, unknown. Vessel species, unregistered. Threat level, maximum. Estimated combat survival without support, 6%. Valari's voice came through comms. 6%. "I fought. With worse odds," Liam chuckled. "Then I guess I picked the right wingmate." "Correction," she said, her tone dry. "You didn't pick anything." The moment of levity vanished as the enemy ship unleashed a blast of raw energy. The beam tore through empty space, missing them by inches. Shields flared around Liam's suit, warning sirens echoing in his ears. "Shields at 72%. Evasive maneuvers recommended." "I'm already moving," he snapped, twisting midair as the suit followed every reflex. The enemy vessel began opening, like a flower of death, revealing rows of organic-looking weapons aimed directly at the station. Back inside the station, Nira stood before the main console, eyes wide with terror. The AI surrounded her with visuals of the fight, Liam glowing like a comet, Valari darting beside him like a silver streak. Her hands tightened into fists. "He can't do this alone," she whispered. The AI responded, emotional frequency locked. Connection to bonded pilot remained strong, support output stable. Nira closed her eyes and focused on the feeling she still held inside, his warmth, his hand in hers. The spark that had connected them. She didn't understand battle, but she understood him. "Protect him," she whispered. "Please." Above the station, the enemy ship launched another beam. Liam shot forward, dodging through the blast stream. The heat seared past his side, but the suit held. His arms moved faster than thought, releasing to high-velocity shock spears directly into the center of the beast's hull. The explosion rocked the void, but it wasn't enough. Valari roared through the comms, "Go in for the head. Cover." Liam twisted left, throwing himself in front of the ship's side weapon arrays. He took a hit full force. The suit screamed in protest, lights flashing red. "Warning, structural integrity compromised, core overheating." But he held steady, giving Valari the opening. She dove straight toward the center of the ship, her pod spinning mid-air, a long blade extended from beneath it glowing with alien energy. With a war cry, she drove it straight into the enemies. Brain-like cord. The ship spasm ed. Green energy rippled through space. A blast wave knocked Liam back toward the station, his suit flaring like a dying star. Inside the pod, Valari grunted. Target hit. But it's not dead. The enemy ship groaned, splitting open like something alive. From its center, a swarm of small, leech-like drones erupted, hundreds of them. Valari shouted. They're coming for the station. Nira's eyes widened as the alarms blared. The AI screamed into her ears, life forms approaching. Evacuation impossible. Internal defense systems offline. But Nira didn't move. She looked up at the visuals. Liam was still there, still fighting, barely holding on. She placed her hand against the console. Heart pounding. You said I was the emotional link, she whispered. Correct. Then take it. Take everything. In that moment, something surged through Liam's suit. A warmth, a pulse, a second heartbeat. He gasped, almost collapsing mid-flight. But the pain vanished. The suit healed. Armor rebuilt itself. Power surged through his veins like fire. Reconnection achieved. Nira emotional output at maximum. Suit fully restored. Valari whistled through comms. You're glowing again. Liam smiled. Guess she still believes in me. With renewed force, Liam dove back into the heart of the battle. One by one, he took out the drones, blasting them with pinpoint beams and slicing through them with the arm blades. The sky around him became a light show of green and blue as Valari joined him. Laughing like a warrior who'd found her purpose, the swarm thinned. The enemy ship, now leaking energy, began turning away. Is it running? Liam asked. Valari shook her head. No, it's afraid. Liam's voice dropped. Finish it. With one last combined strike, he and Valari drove straight through the ship's central core, splitting it from inside out. The explosion bloomed behind them like a silent flower in space. It was over. The silence after was deafening. Back inside the station, Nira collapsed to her knees. Drained but alive, the AI whispered calmly. Mission success. Host survival confirmed. Emotional triad stabilized. When Liam returned, stepping back through the glowing corridor, the suit slowly dissolved off his body. Nira ran to him first, wrapping her arms around him without hesitation. Valari followed. Standing behind them, Liam looked at her. She didn't speak, but she smiled. He offered his hand. She stared at it, then took it. The AI had tried to force them into connection, but the real bond, that was their choice now. The station floated silently in orbit now, drifting above the glowing blue planet like a scarred guardian. Most of the external systems were damaged. Several cameras were shattered. Support modules were offline. But deep inside the station, in the command chamber where it all began, warmth had returned. Liam sat on the edge of the bed, shoulders relaxed for the first time since he'd arrived. The defense suit had vanished hours ago, melted back into the system like it had never existed. In its place, only faint marks remained on his skin, like lightning scars, proof of what he had done and what had been done to him. Nira was curled beside him, her head resting against his arm, breathing. Calm and slow, her skin glowed faintly in the dim light, silver and soft, her hand wrapped tightly in his. She hadn't let go since the battle ended. Across the room, Valari leaned against the wall, arms crossed, her expression unreadable. She hadn't said much after they returned. She didn't need to. Her silence carried 1,000 thoughts. Liam looked up. So, now what? Valari smirked. Barely. You're asking me? I figured the one who charged a monster headfirst might have a plan. She shrugged. I'm a fighter, not a thinker. Nira stirred slightly. We can't go back to normal, she whispered. None of us can. Liam nodded. We're not normal anymore. The AI chimed softly, less robotic than usual. Bonded triad status, stabilized. Reproductive core aligned. Emotional anchor secure. Request, continue unit cohabitation for genetic enrichment. Valari laughed under her breath. Even after everything, it still wants babies. Liam shook his head. I don't even know what kind of father I'd be. You protected us, Nira said, sitting up slightly. You cared. That's already more than what many of my kind ever knew. Valari tilted her head. You think love makes someone ready to raise a hybrid child. I think love makes you try, Nira replied. Silence passed again. But it was no longer uncomfortable. It felt like the stillness after a storm. The kind of quiet where new things begin. Valari stepped forward finally, stopping in front of them both. I was angry, she said, not just at the AI, but at you, at her, at myself, because I didn't want to admit what I was feeling. Liam looked up at her, and now she reached down, took his free hand, and pulled it toward her chest. I'm still angry, but I'm done fighting it. Nira smiled. The AI's lights brightened gently. Full triad bonded. Genetic compatibility optimal. Nesting protocols active. Liam blinked. Nesting what? The floor beneath them shifted, panels pulling away as soft lights glowed under their feet. The chamber around them morphed again. Metal became fabric. Cold walls softened, and a new structure unfolded before them. A living space, not sterile, not forced. A home. Pillows, soft surfaces, adjustable light, quiet hums of nature from an unfamiliar world. And in the center, a structure that looked like a shared resting dome built for three. Valari raised an eyebrow. That's cozy. Nira blushed. It's beautiful. Liam stood, his heart pounding for reasons that had nothing to do with battle. Is this real? Or just another phase of the AI's program? The AI answered softly. Input no longer required. Emotional patterns have exceeded original parameters. Future development is now at subject's discretion. Valari frowned. Are you saying it's letting go? Correct. Free will restored. Family unit, yours to shape. For a long time, no one moved. Then Liam took a deep breath and turned toward the two women who had become more than just allies, more than just partners forced upon him. They were his bondmates, not by code, not by programming, but by choice. He stepped toward the nest. Nira followed, her hands still in his. Valari walked beside them, close this time, not hiding her expression anymore. Inside the nest, it was warm, soothing, safe. Liam sat between them, arms resting around their shoulders. Nira leaned into him with a quiet sigh. Valari looked at him sideways. You're really okay with this? I didn't come here looking for love, he said. But I think it found me anyway. And you're sure, Valari asked, voice lower now, that I belong here too? He pulled her closer. I'm not whole without both of you, she scoffed. Emotional idiot. He grinned. Yours, Nira giggled. Above them, the stars spun silently, and the broken station floated on, forgotten by the galaxy. Inside it, three hearts beat in perfect rhythm. And for the first time, none of them were alone.